Hello friends, welcome to Decobloom. Forget everything you thought you knew about Parisian chic. We're channeling the rebellious elegance of Saint Laurent into a stunning apartment transformation. Get ready to discover the secrets to a home that screams high fashion without sacrificing an ounce of classic Parisian charm. Let's get started. In this Parisian apartment, the first thing you notice is the deep black lacquer glowing softly in the lamplight. The walls feel like a mirror to the night, reflecting gilded frames, crystal chandeliers, and the glint of polished bronze. Rich velvet seating gathers around a marble fireplace, almost floating against the darkness. Every reflection doubles the sense of luxury, transforming the room into an intimate, cinematic cocoon of Parisian glamour. Step onto a floor that feels like a tapestry of stories, where layered Persian carpets spill across classic herringbone wood. The patterns overlap in ruby, sapphire, and gold, creating a soft, decadent landscape underfoot. Each rug seems collected from a different chapter of a glamorous life, yet they blend effortlessly. Their richness grounds the grand ceilings and ornate moldings, wrapping the Saint Laurent-inspired space in warmth, history, and unforgettable character. Along the walls, sculptural Art Deco sideboards anchor the rooms with strong lines and perfect symmetry. Their glossy woods and geometric inlays introduce a disciplined elegance that balances the romance of the apartment. On their surfaces, curated objects stand like small exhibitions: bronze figures, crystal decanters, and rare books. These sideboards are not just furniture, they are altars of taste, echoing the refined, era-blending spirit at the heart of this interior. In a corner of the salon, leopard print cushions lounge like elegant rebels against velvet sofas and brocade chairs. Their wild pattern injects energy into the classic architecture, adding a playful, Saint Laurent signature twist. They invite you to sink in, cocktail in hand, as jazz hums softly in the background. Here, animal print feels less like a trend and more like a timeless emblem of daring Parisian glamour and confidence. The wood-paneled salon wraps you in a cocoon of warmth the moment you enter. Rich, honey-toned panels climb from floor to ceiling, creating a backdrop for art, sculpture, and carefully placed lamps. Shelves overflow with books and collected objects, yet nothing feels accidental. The room whispers of late-night conversations, fashion sketches, and quiet reading. It is both refined and deeply personal, a sanctuary where elegance and intellect live side by side. White marble surfaces slice through the darker tones of the apartment with crisp, luminous clarity. Coffee tables, mantels, and consoles gleam with soft veining, catching the glimmer of candlelight and polished brass. Against lacquered walls and jewel-toned textiles, the marble feels fresh and sculptural, like wearable couture translated into stone. Each slab becomes a cool stage for flowers, books, and art, bringing balance and lightness to the layered, opulent surroundings. Scattered thoughtfully through the rooms, vintage Chinese jars stand like quiet guardians of the apartment. Their blue and white motifs and graceful silhouettes bring an air of timeless culture to the space. Resting on consoles, mantels, and side tables, they contrast beautifully with bold modern art and deep-colored fabrics. These pieces speak of travel, curiosity, and collecting without haste, enriching the Saint Laurent-inspired atmosphere with global depth and poetic serenity. Each fireplace becomes a dazzling focal point, framed by mirrored surrounds that echo every flicker of light. The glass reflects paintings, chandeliers, and silhouettes moving through the room, adding layers of movement and glamour. Candles on the mantel multiply into a constellation of warm points, softening the edges of the classic architecture. These mirrored frames turn the hearth into a stage, where everyday moments feel cinematic and every evening glows with Parisian magic. In the music room, walls painted a deep, velvety purple create a world apart from the bright city outside. The color wraps around a grand piano, velvet chairs, and lacquered tables like a luxurious curtain. Artwork glows softly against the rich backdrop, while brass lamps add pools of golden light. It feels like a place made for midnight concerts, whispered secrets, and creative experiments, where sound, color, and style blend seamlessly together. Along the hallways and salon walls, bronze floral sconces blossom like metallic plants frozen mid-bloom. Their petals catch the light, casting delicate silhouettes across panels and artwork. The glow they provide is gentle and flattering, more like candlelight than harsh illumination. Each sconce feels like a sculptural jewel, turning the act of lighting a room into a poetic gesture. Together, they guide you through the apartment with warm, romantic radiance. Every surface in this Parisian home seems touched by an opulent fabric. Embroidered cushions, fringe throws, silk drapes, and patterned blankets layer over one another in carefully chosen colors. The mix feels bohemian yet undeniably luxurious, like a wardrobe of couture gowns translated into textile decor. Nothing is overly coordinated, yet everything harmonizes. The result is an environment that invites lounging, dreaming, and daydreaming, where comfort and high style coexist in perfect balance. On the walls, bold Picasso pieces command attention, their graphic lines and fractured forms challenging the softness of the furnishings. These artworks bring a sharp, artistic edge to the classic bones of the apartment. Positioned above marble consoles and velvet seating, they serve as constant reminders of daring creativity. The presence of such strong art gives the rooms a sense of purpose, as if every conversation here is part of an ongoing cultural dialogue. Red lacquered chairs and stools punctuate the apartment like exclamation marks of color. Their high-gloss surfaces reflect nearby artwork, mirrors, and metallic objects, amplifying their impact. Set against neutral walls and rich woods, the red feels both modern and timeless, echoing the drama of a statement lipstick. These pieces are not shy. They ask you to notice them, to sit, to stay a while. They embody the fearless glamour of Paris at its most stylish. Tall Chinoiserie screens unfold like painted stories in the corners of the rooms. Delicate scenes of gardens, birds, and distant landscapes stretch across their panels, adding layers of narrative to the interior. They gently divide spaces without closing them off, creating intimate pockets for reading, dressing, or conversation. Against classic moldings and parquet floors, the screens inject a romantic, theatrical spirit, suggesting a life filled with travel, dreams, and artful mystery. Tuxedo sofas command the salon with their sharp lines and plush velvet upholstery. Their arms and back sit at the same height, creating a chic, tailored silhouette that feels directly inspired by couture. Deep seats and generous cushions promise comfort without sacrificing elegance. Framed by patterned rugs and low tables stacked with books, These sofas become the perfect place to host guests, discuss art, or simply stretch out and admire the room. Zebra-patterned rugs sweep across the floor like graphic artworks underfoot. Their bold stripes cut through the softness of velvets and brocades, bringing a sense of wild rhythm to the classic setting. Positioned beneath armchairs, coffee tables, or at the foot of a bed, they frame each vignette with striking contrast. The pattern feels both exotic and sophisticated, echoing the fearless spirit of couture, while still harmonizing with the apartment's grand architectural bones. Heavy brocade drapes fall from ceiling to floor in generous folds, pooling softly on the parquet. Woven with metallic threads and intricate motifs, they filter the Parisian light into a warm, golden glow. When drawn, they create a private cocoon, shutting out the city and wrapping the room in quiet luxury. Their presence gives every window the importance of a stage, turning the simple act of opening the curtains into a daily ritual of elegance. Look up, and the ceiling becomes a tranquil painting, inspired by the gentle poetry of Monet. Soft blues, greens, and lilacs drift across the surface like reflections on water, transforming the room into a living canvas. Chandeliers hang like floating lilies of light, echoing the fluid strokes above. The effect is both calming and uplifting, merging art and architecture. In this Saint Laurent-inspired apartment, even the sky inside is carefully, beautifully designed. We've explored a Parisian apartment alive with Saint Laurent-inspired luxury, from glossy black walls and Persian rugs to Art Deco details and velvet textures that blend opulence with intimacy. These elements create layered, personal spaces full of story and sophistication. If this ignited your decor passion, hit like, subscribe to Decobloom for more, and comment your favorite feature below. See you next time!